Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Hasri Fayadh Muqaffa and here is my partner TM Asy'ari Muchtari. We are from SMA Negeri Modal Bangsa Aceh.
Our project is Muxmat, a FPS game that designed to help people learning and practicing their coding skills.
To start with, let's talk about the background first. The development of the Industrial Revolution is of course closely related to the massive use of the internet and gadgets around the world, one of which is Indonesia. Almost all activities have been successfully carried out online, be it shopping, payments, teaching, learning, or even online games. Games as a source of learning have recently become a very interesting topic of discussion in academic circles, especially in the field of technology. Massive technological advance at this time certainly provide many benefits to advance the field of education. Games make learning concept more palatable for students and supply learners with a platform for their creative thoughts to bounce around. Games encourage creative behavior and divergent thought. That's why we've got an idea to make FPS game as a learning aid as well as to relieve student boredom while studying. Apart from that, this game invites the player to think and react quickly to the questions that are given later.
Our intention to conduct this project is to knowing how to design a FPS match-made game to attract student attention as well as how effective does this game do in order to study and practice counting and math. Based on the background that we have been stated before, here is the breakdown of the problem formulation. The first, how to design a 3D-based match-made educational FPS game using Unity game engine. Second, how to design a FPS match-made game to attract student attention. And last, how effective the usage of match-made in order to learn counting in math. In case this study don't widen, limitations are given for the approach to the problem so that it's more focused on its implementation. First, this game is made to invite users to think quickly and precisely to solve math problem. Second, this game is only intended for computer and laptop user. And last, this game only has one chapter which consists of 10 stages. The goal that we want to achieve is making this educational game application is first, to invite user to think quickly and precisely to solve math calculation problems. Second, developing a new way of creating alternative learning to count for students.
On development of Muxmat game, we use Unity as the game engine, C# as the programming language, and MySQL as a database management system. As you can see, the reason why we choose the following are mentioned in the slide. The system development method that being used in our project is agile development methodology because it has better effectiveness than the traditional model, which is perfect for us who doesn't have much time to develop the game.
There are 4 stages in applying the agile development method. Those are: first, planning. Planning for making games, collect data, formulate problem and analyze data. Second, design. The design of this game describes the storyline of the game to be made. Also make a prototype user interface. Third, developing. The design that has been designed will be applied to the Blender 3D and Microsoft Visual Studio as the asset and Unity 3D as the game engine from the match-made game. And last, testing. After the game is finished, it will be tested whether it meets the needs or not. After testing, the software can be released and reviewed.
To test our game quality, we collect the data from 2 methods. First is interview method. In the interview method, the author asks students of Modal Bangsa School to find out what thing needed to be added to this FPS Muxmat educational game application. The average respondent answered that additional types of questions were needed so that the question display were not monotonous. In addition, there was one respondent who suggested a stage that could be adjusted to the user's wishes, such as the number of questions displayed, the time range for answering, and the type of question displayed. Second is questionnaire method. In the questionnaire method, the author has 4 assessment points distributed to 20 respondents who are elementary graders to be filled. This assessment will be used as a benchmark for the quality of the game that have been made. The assessment points are in the form of the effectiveness of the game as a medium learning for mathematics, game control, the appearance of the game, and the compatibility of the question for the time and level given. The data obtained from the respondent will be present in following slide. From the 20 respondents that we've been asked to participate in our survey, we got score of 4.03 in appearance, which means Marks Math is barely enough to attract students' interest to use Marks Math. But a few respondents give a score below 3.5, which means our game design needs to be improved in the future. In game control, we got score of 4.37, which means our game control is simple enough for students, making it easier for any student to play our games. According to data, there is only one respondent that gave score of 3.2. To prevent users from not knowing the control, in the next update, we need to put some tutorials on game controls. Then we got score of 4.47 in question compatibility, which means our game question is compatible with the students. This indicates our game target value is correct. Lastly, we got score of 4.365 in terms of Marks Math effectivity as alternative learning aid, which means our respondent is agree that the Marks Math game is effective as a learning aid to develop student counting skills.
This research resulted in an educational FPS genre game application as an alternative to learning mathematics to develop students' counting skill that can be played on a PC or laptop platform. 3D-based Marks Math educational FPS game application has an average value with above 4 for each component, indicating that respondent agreed that the appearance of Marks Math is quite attractive, easy game control understood, the compatibility of the appropriate question, and effective Marks Math as alternative learning in improving student ability to count. And that is our presentation in this research. Lastly, I could say thank you for your appreciation. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.